Welcome back to our next episode of Uncivil Discourse, hosted by Lee.
Hello.
Myself.
Hey, back off. You give me hell for not saying hi. Hi, everybody. And yes, I waved. It's just what I do.
Yeah, but you're not that special today. Our special guest commentator is actually Battlebabe number 2.
Oh my god, you guys are more ridiculous than your actual podcasts. Oh, right. All I had to say was hi. Sure.
Yeah, well, Brett lied.
Yeah, no, that was you.
That was me, yes.
That was you. I have always been very truthful.
No, you can just say hi if that's all you want to do, but you are the other half of the Battlebabes podcast that will get back on track at some point in time. Life has just been getting in the way.
Yeah. Being sick sucks.
And you're also the stable master of Thumper's Revenge. All right, Lee, any special announcements or anything kicking around like that you want to bring up here for our audience?
I was actually thinking about that, Brett, before we started recording. We're getting down to the brass tacks. We've only got 2 games left. 1 to report tonight and then 2 more to be played. And it's just come down to the wire. Like, we've had upsets in games. We've had people losing positions and then regaining it. We have people sliding down the ranks. And a couple of us starting to make some waves and moving up the ranks.
So disappointing when you slide into a different position than you weren't expecting.
A little painful at times.
Nope.
Well, now that that's covered, let's take it into the final skill spins of the season. After this, no more coming. I'm so happy about that. I'm also super happy that people get to play a couple of games with their regular skills to get used to it just before they go into playoffs.
Teacher, I have a slight point of contention on that statement.
No.
We have teams that did not put in their spends. They don't lose their points. They just have to spend them later on, as long as they get them in before playoffs.
Really? We can't just deny them because they didn't pay attention?
We could, but those are really nice guys. I'm looking at the teams that banked, and they're just really good guys. We don't want to punish them any further than the season has already punished them.
All right, we'll let them get their spends in. Okay, on that note, first spend of the week for review, Condo's Janissaries, the Penetrator, had a starting BV of 1687. They pick up Underworld Contacts for Endo Steel, adding Case 2, 2 heatsinks. It now dissipates 28, generates 29 on the jump with the AMS going off, and the armor gets upgraded to 94%, 216 out of 231 points, for a new BV of 1762, or an increase of 75 points.
Kel's Keshik Fafnir takes piloting.
Ghosts of Gunsburg, the Viking, takes gunnery.
The Remnants is a bank this time.
Riston's Rogues Perseus takes anticipation.
Ox Knights, the Exterminator, takes target lock.
Neon Betons. Warhawk gets eliminated and transferred to a different mech. No, just kidding. It takes Veteran and Impatient. And the Nova picks up Seize the Initiative, one of our initiative modifying skills.
Yeah, that one's actually a pretty rare one for people to take. I'm looking forward to seeing how that works. That is the skill that requires you to roll the... No, that's when you surrender initiative and eventually take it later.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed that in previous seasons, especially at the beginning of the game. If you can win a couple early and give them away when it doesn't matter, later on, around turn 9, you can seize it and just be like, I need to have the initiative this turn, so it's a really handy skill.
I was making sure you guys were actually done talking.
Oh, we're never done talking, so you just go and it's quiet.
I know, okay. Half-Cut Masakari takes mountaineering.
The Vengeful Ones, the Battle Cobra, picks up gunnery to increase the accuracy of its 2 large pulse lasers.
King Kazi Maelstrom picks up gunnery as well.
All Shane's regulars, Dragon takes bribery skill, and the Crab takes courage.
Tin Man's Tin Cans. The Battlemaster picks up pain resistance. It's had its ammo explode a few too many times to be able to handle that. And the Thunderbolt takes Long Jumper.
Nace CIT Nightstar picks up Camouflage. The Rifleman starting BV is 1464. That's the 6X variant. Picks up Black Market to get a laser anti-missile system, removing 1 ER medium and 1 ER small for the 10.5 of weight. The new BV is 1414, or a drop of 50. The Blackjack starting BV of 1189. That's the one with the 2 LB10s. Uses Underworld Contacts to pick up Case 2. Removes 1 medium laser to add Case 2. And moves both tons of ammo from the 2 side torsos into 1 torso, so it can be done with 1 ton modification. New BV is 1162, or a drop of 27.
It looks like Radiant Raven Raiders banked their points this week.
The first Merrick Militia's Awesome took Mountaineer.
The first Dracons Black Knight picks up Piloting, being tired of falling down all the time, over and over again.
Aw, do you want some cheese with that wine?
And we invited you, why?
'Cause you love me.
No one else was available.
Ouch. Third choice.
Well, if the audience likes you, maybe we'll just have you as a commentator next year.
I'm afraid of that.
We do switch them out every season, typically.
Yep.
Every time so far, actually.
Fenrir's Frostfangs also banked their points.
The Blitzkrieg Jezebels. The Blitzkrieg takes Veteran so they can pick up Mountaineer and is just going to fly across the battlefield.
Beep beep. Kaboom. LB20. Devil's Brigade, however, is unable to continue due to life complications.
The Pit Vipers Marauder takes Tactics, and their Thunderbolt takes Bribery.
The Wolf Pack's Night Sky takes Veterans so it can pick up Mobile Fire so they can make that Clan ERPPC a little bit more accurate.
Thumper's Revenge. The Stealth picks up Piloting.
Cat's Nightingale Cavalry, the Rex Sasha, takes Forest Fire, and Underworld Contacts to upgrade their case to Case 2. The same mod as my Thumper's Rex Sasha. They swapped the left arm medium laser for a small, upgrading Case to Case 2, and the new battle value is 1683, an increase of 8 battle value.
Doesn't seem like a huge increase in BV, but it is massively more survivable now.
Yeah, the mech being able to survive an ammo explosion, especially when it's got those 2 snub-nosed PPCs in the arms, it's big. Ansgar's Outlaw's Griffin takes Veteran to be able to pick up Courage and seize the initiative.
Hogan's Heroes is our final bank of the week, I believe.
Wendigo's Night Stalkers, Awesome, takes Ground Pounder.
Abishai's Avengers, the Flashman, takes up Gunnery. It's going to make it even more deadly.
Paxton's Pathfinders. The Black Knight picks up Gunnery, and the Wraith picks up Nearsighted.
Dead Man's Hands, Templar, takes Mobile Fire.
Did you ever think you'd see an assault mech taking Mobile Fire? Because I sure didn't. Maybe this is why Lee's looking to be a B-side champion.
Jump, 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 jump. I actually stand a very small statistical chance of making A, Brett. The Red Sun's Irregulars, the Elementals, take Long Jumper and Bribery. That back alley intimidation seems to be a very popular skill with the Elementals this year.
I think almost every clan player that has Elementals took it.
And all of them are calling it back alley intimidation. Way to go, John. You've created a new word for League.
League of Robots, the Glass Spider, takes Exploit and Dodging.
And the Teddy Bear Parade Stormcrow takes Hyperactive.
Well, I was supposed to say a few things about the designs this week. I gotta say, it's pretty cool to see people taking stuff other than mod skills. We do have a few in here, but that's just people cleaning up stuff at the end of the season when they see, hey, this just isn't working, I gotta correct something. It makes total sense that Nascent took stuff to get case, right? When you have 2 of your mechs are 2 LB-10Xs and a ton of ammo, you gotta protect them. And matter of fact, that's really what most people did. That's what Cat's Nightingale's Cavalry did, and Kondo's Janissaries really kind of did it to get case as well.
The only shocking part about that is that it wasn't done earlier in the season.
Yeah, true, but sometimes people don't think they need it. right? And they're like, oh no, I can go without it.
I'll be out of ammo before anybody hits that.
It cost me my Templar in my game against Alex because I didn't buy the case 2 earlier, which I should have. So yeah, that's the big thing. It's great to see some of the skills like seize the initiative being taken. I think that's going to be really useful. I gotta say, Aaron, your Neon Beatons, the skills that you've taken are a really neat combination of accuracy as well as manipulating. Yeah, offensive, impatient, seize the initiative, like just manipulating the initiative order. So I think that's really interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing how that works out for you. That could end up winning you a championship.
Yeah, it's been nice to see a big diversity of skills. I'm shocked at how many people ran out of secondary skill slots near the end of the season and were obviously buying stuff like, oh, I need to buy this primary skill because I don't have any ability to put any other secondary skills on my other mechs.
Yeah, you know what? We've had years where League didn't get a whole lot of primary skills purchased because they're expensive. I think we may have finally gotten the skill costs balanced to the point where people are going to start looking at the primaries more intensely.
Yeah, and sometimes that extra slot or that primary slot is just important. But on to match summary from last week. Game number 1, we had the Teddy Bear Parade versus Al Shane Regulars. The Radis River Valley is the arena these teams face off on. One of the Takiad battle zones. This game is a 4-1 Teddy Bear victory.
Well, Clan Cocaine Bear is so confident today, they ended up with 5 kills. The Stormcrow kills itself on a careful stand attempt on a 3. There's nothing worse than seeing snake eyes when you're rolling. Brett knows it. I know it. John knows it really well. We're both really famous for being some of the only people that have ever wiped out in a quad. So yeah, that's killing yourself on a careful stand. I feel your pain. But the Warhammer pulls down all 4 kills against the El Shane mech, so it does a massive leap up on the killer's corner. Sorry to hear about your no good, very bad day, Carlo, but don't worry about it. You'll probably get a second run at him in the playoffs.
Game number 2, Condos Janissaries vs. Riston Rogues. 2 of our tippy-top teams. The River Valley Arena hosts this joust of the top knights of Solaris. The Rogues pulling home a victory of 4-1.
The Penetrator takes out the Rogues Battlemaster, however, not before the Kentaro takes out the Hunchback, and then the Penetrator later on, while the Battlemaster gets the Helios kill, and the Perseus pops a Yu-Hang.
Game number 3, we have the League of Robots up against the Red Suns Irregulars. The Grasslands Arena has some clan-on-clan violence as these 2 powerhouse stables clash. As expected, this is a bit of a bloodbath with a 4-3 Robots victory.
5 kills credited to the Direwolf today. Yes, that's right. Both sides had one. The Robots field a modified Direwolf A, while the Red Suns have a modified Widowmaker. On the Robot side, the Elementals and Galahad were slain by the Widowmaker, and the Ice Ferret was taken out by the Archer. On the Red Sun side, the Ice Ferret took out the Archer in a double kill situation, same round, while the Direwolf A claims all 3 of the remaining mechs. The most spectacular part of that is a headshot to the Widowmaker that was almost pristine as it came around a corner. Game number 4, the Pit Vipers versus the Neon Beatons. The head smashed in Falcon Jump is a familiar map to the Beatons as they faced the Vengeful Ones here earlier in the season. And, well, history repeats itself. They fly away with a Neon Beaton 4-1 glowing victory.
Well, kind of repeats itself. You didn't have to walk off an elevation 5 hill to get within range.
Only had to do it once to learn.
Exactly. But the Nova is taken out by the Marauder as the sole Beaton's loss, while the Elemental swarmed an unconscious Fafnir and did very naughty things to it. Elementals can be amazingly effective at killing a mech if it's downed or unconscious, but even just like leg attacks are a frightening thing with Elementals. The Warhawk finished off the 3 remaining Viper mechs, and let that be a lesson. The Warhawk cannot be ignored. It must be dealt with. 2 cookies to whoever kills it next.
Now, who's supplying the cookies for that one?
If I have to, I'll buy them from the den.
Hey, I have cookies for sale.
Game number 5, Wendigo's Night Stalkers versus Ansgar's Outlaws. Our other river map, the River Basin, hosts this throwdown of disreputable folk. Holy cow, Brett. Ending in a 3-2 Outlaw victory.
It's not that his sentences are horrible, it's that they're really hard to say in one breath.
The Outlaws' Raksasha was taken out by the guillotine, and the Marauder 2 fell to the fury of a Wolverine. However, the real star of this match was the Griffin, claiming 3 kills today, only leaving the Wolverine left alive. And now that Griffin is going to be even more effective with Courage.
It's actually really interesting how many games this week were one mech picked up by a ton of kills. And it not always be the assault mech. Game 6, we have Fox Knights versus the Abishai Avengers. In the Caustic Valley, these teams dance. Prancing to a 4-0 victory, the Avengers prove they still have what it takes to bring home victory.
Only 1 kill for the Flashman today, the Exterminator, while the Cronus of Doom gets the Grasshopper and the Phoenix Hawk, and 1 crab fells the other while it remains victorious. 2 crabs enter, 1 crab leaves.
Must hold back the crab jokes.
I mean, everybody's got a little bit of crab jokes. Game number 7, Cat's Nightingale Cavalry versus Kel's Keshik. One of our new arenas this season, the Gravel Experience, has this match come to a shocking 4-2 victory that I'm not sure anyone called for the Cavalry.
While the Fafnir does not go down without a fight, it takes a Rakshasa and the Guillotine with it. However, it does eventually end up going down to the Lynx. I was going to say going down on the Lynx when I read that earlier today, but I thought, how much more does Jason's sound bit need to be used?
And, I mean, it's not a cougar, so it's just a Lynx.
The Guillotine claims the Scorpion and the Tizang, while the Rakshasa gets the Warhammer before it falls.
Game 8 was Kinkazi versus Thumper's Revenge. The Desert Oasis Arena is where these teams faced off against each other, ending in a 4-1 Kinkazi finish.
While the result was lopsided, it was a hard-fought game. The Bunnies rushed in, making her advance a whole lot faster than expected, with the Pathfinder skill on the longbow keeping pace with the Raksasha. Have you ever seen a longbow keep pace with a Raksasha? The initial clash was the longbow just laying down fire, and then it kind of turned around and the game went a little bit sideways. However, the Bunny's Grasshopper lays waste to the spotting Maelstrom, and the Maelstrom takes out the longbow because it was right up front, taking a whole bunch of the damage. The Marauder gets a stealth kill, and the Atlas gets the remaining 2 Bunny mechs this day.
Game number 9, we have the Wolf Pack getting a 2-point bye win up against the Devil's Brigade, who've had to drop out due to personal reasons.
I got a win because my opponent wasn't available. Yay, Wolfpack!
Game 10, Radiant Raven Raiders and the half-cut father-son showdown in town today. The Savannahs see some family rivalry with the son schooling the father. Radiant Raven Raiders 2-1, take it away.
Not much to see here, folks. The Radiant Raiden Ravers Avatar dies to a Warhammer, while the Shadowcat falls to the Avatar, and the Warhammer is taken out by the Battlemaster. The Radiant Raiden Ravers Stablemaster, Brandon, really likes his Battlemasters. He's run one in both seasons so far.
You play what you know.
Is that why you don't play anything good?
Game number 11. The Paxton Pathfinders up against the Vengeful Ones. In the mines, the drums beat. In the mines, the Pathfinders find victory. 4-3 Pathfinder victory. Great job, Chris. And hopefully we see this be the start of a late season rush for you.
The Vengeful Ones Battle Cobra knocks itself out by failed piloting checks. The Elementals get a kill against the Black Knight, and the Direwolf skins a Marauder 2 and an Orion. However, the Wraith is the real winner today, folks. It claims all 4 kills of the Battle Cobras. Good job, Little Wraith.
One little point of note on that. Have people started to notice that the Elementals are starting to get some kills? Like, it's every week we're seeing 2 or 3 by the elementals from the clanners. I think it's just taken them this long to really figure out how to use them.
If you're not used to playing with battle armor, it can take a full season for people to start to grasp it. And then they don't get the same faction next year, and they have to learn how to fight it. Game number 12, Fenrir's Frostfangs versus the Dead Man's Hand. Everyone enjoys a little pavement experience now and then, and it seems to work for both of these teams today. 4-3 final score as the Dead Man's Hand pulls off a win.
This was a great game. Like, it was really tight. Early on, I ended up taking out the Star Slayer. I think it was like round 3. I caught him in the head with a Gauss rifle. The Huron Warrior getting the kill for that. And it was a really good game. It just got so tight. We ended up in this little cluster at this intersection, and my Templar was killed by the Banshee. The Blackhawk and the Huron Warrior ended up getting wiped out by the Archer of Doom. But the Huron Warrior got the Star Slayer, and the Blackhawk gets the Nodashi. So it's now 2-1 left on the field. Both the Archer and the Banshee are still there, pretty well armored, up against my poor, meager little Jägermech. Jumping around, cutting them off from using the level 2 buildings to stop from line of sight, so I was only dealing with one mech at a time. I was actually able to drop the 2 of them. So my Jägermech gets 2 kills. Ha ha, Mr. Painter. Ha ha, Mr. Brett. Ha ha, OG. It is killing things, it is working, and it's gonna keep moving its way up the killer's corner.
Bag of chips to whoever kills it next. I mean, what? You won't let me put out skill point bounties on things, so at least I can give snacks.
Yeah, but whatever. If you had a memorable mech that we'd put a bounty out on it too.
Pretty sure my Shadowhawk's going to try and slip back into the top 10 killer's corner.
No, it's a one-trick pony. It's done.
The only thing that's keeping it out is its 4 deaths, because it's racked up 9 kills so far this year.
Actually, the only thing keeping it out of the top 10 is because I'm alphabetically before you.
Oh.
That's rough.
Next, your team name starts with A. Back to you, Laura.
All right. Game 13, Hogan's Heroes versus the First Dracons. Lakes and streams. This arena has some lakes and streams in it, giving some good run around the First Dracons. Walk out of the arena with a 4-1 victory.
I'm really glad we brought you into this, Laura. You get to feel our pain actually having to say it, not just listen to it.
You can retort to that before I go into it.
No, it's like a bad tongue twister you just get used to.
Early on, the clever heroes of this story bait a trap and the Shadowhawk springs it. However, it's costly as it takes over 60 points of damage in the engagement and then dying a turn later being the first mech to drop. The Dracons stage a cutting comeback with a Viking taking out the Rakshasa and the Axeman getting the kills on all 3 other mechs, both the Uzil and the Bandersnatch in the same turn even. Who says splitting fire is always a mistake?
Game number 14. We have the first Merrick's Militias up against the Remnants on the Tundra. That's where these titans meet. Where C3 improved technology shows just how valuable it can be. The Remnants come home with a 4-1 victory.
The Remnants Warhammer is taken out by the bigger, better brother in the Awesome. On the other side, the Trebuchet learns that an Avatar can be dangerous as it sends a PPC shot into the head. Then the Thunder Chicken claims all 3 other Merrick mechs. The Orion with a headshot, the Marauder with some well-grouped triple Gauss rifle rounds, and then finally the Awesome.
I was talking to Chris after the game, and that headshot to the Orion, all 3 Gauss rifles, he rolls them, and 4 of the 6 dice were 6s. So only one of them ended up being a head hit. But yeah, it was an amazing roll. Almost a full Yahtzee.
Game number 15, Tin Man's Tin Cans versus the Ghosts of Gunzenberg. Meeting in the Outlaws Ranch for a showdown, these two square off at high noon. And the Tin Mans crush it. They get a 3-2 take-home victory.
The Battlemaster's rack attacks the Wolverine out of existence, which completely believable with how much damage that weapon can do. The Tin Man's guillotine is crushed like a soda can under the Vikings' missiles, however, while the Grasshopper is ghost busted by the Thunderbolt, and the Phoenix Hawk swoops in for the Marauder kill.
And sadly, the Battlemaster died to an ammo explosion this game, hence triggering the purchase of Pain Resistance.
Game 16, Nace CIT versus Blitzkrieg Jezebels. Our Foothills Arena had some cat and mouse games played today. 2-2 tie.
Now, the write-up I've got here makes it sound like this all happened in a hurry, but the Nascent's Blackjack is taken out by the Barghest, while the Blitzkrieg is traded at the same time, killed by the Nightstar. A few moments later, the Marauder is dropped by the Avatar, which is like the last turn of the game, while the Barghest goes down under the fire of the same Marauder. The mechs go falling down 2 by 2, even exchanges leading to this tie game at time. It was a last round rally by Heather to be able to take out the Nascent's Marauder, and it was darn close. It could very easily have been a Nascent 2-1.
After one game hiccup sees the Teddy Bear Parade lose its top spot, it jumps back into number 1 position with a solid game against the Alshane Regulars and an unfortunate loss by the Condos Janissaries against the reigning league champion Riston's Rogues. With the regular season ending soon, the league top 8 spots are still hotly contested.
Dun dun dun!
If we had OG here, he'd have something on the soundboard he could play. Well, we're down to the last 2 sets of games, folks. We have the Week 9, my lord, matches. Game number 1, we have the Abishai's Avengers, 6 wins, 2 losses, 0 ties. They're up against the Kinkazi, 3 wins, 3 losses, 2 ties. Well, the Kinkazi has had a pretty bumpy season so far. 2 ties that were actually very close to being victories for the Kinkazi, so he kind of came out mediocre in that one. 3 hard losses that I'm quite sure he'd like to have had back, but 3 solid wins as well. His wins have definitely been strong. The Abishai's Avengers, however, has been solid all season. Like 6 wins, 2 losses. They're in the running for first place. They're going to have to win both, and some other guys are going to really have to lose, but it is there. I'm going to give this one to the Abishai's Avengers, mainly because the dad is going to get schooled by the son, same as when they ran into each other last season.
So the 2 ties that the Kinkazi has is Riston's Rogues and myself. So he's had a very, very respectable score, even though it doesn't look that much when you look at it on paper. I believe this is going to be a Kinkazi victory because he's not going to give Abishai Avengers a ride to the game. Max is going to have to find his own way there if he wants to win this match. But no, seriously, I think they're going to get there. I think Max is going to show some disrespect to his elders and take it to his dad for an Abishai Avengers 4-1 victory.
Oh, I didn't give my numbers. I'm gonna say a 4-2. I think Kinkazi's mechs are good enough to lay some whooping on the Abishais, but I don't think they're gonna win.
So, Jeff's not here, but he did send in his predictions, and he has Abishai's Avengers with a 3-1 victory.
And the bunny pick of the week?
Oh.
You just came off a game with the Kinkazi, so throw him under the bus if you want.
No, and I don't face Max until my very last game, so I think I'm going to go with Max. Abishai Avengers, but 4-1.
Game number 2. We see the Thumpers Revenge with 3 wins, 5 losses, 0 ties, up against one of the top 3 teams in the league, Condos Janissaries, with a 7 win, one of which is a bye win, and 1 loss, 0 ties. This is a 2-time league champion. He's fighting to get back into that first place. He's going to come at you with absolutely everything, Laura. The good thing that you have in your favor is that his lance is close up. He doesn't really have long range mechs. A couple of large lasers, a couple other weapons that he can use at range. Plasma rifles are definitely a worry, but your lance is pretty heat efficient. I think you're going to make JP really work for this. I am going to say I think JP's going to win. because he really wants. He's on a tear. I know. Brett and Jeff had said earlier in the season that Condo's very, defensive. I think he's just going to come right down your throat, which could make him lose it. So this is going to be tight. I think it's going to be a 3-2, and it could be in your favor, but I think Condo's Janissaries is going to end up pulling it out.
3 seasons, 3 matches against Condos for you. I think this is like old hands by this time. I think it's probably going to be not quite as close as what Lee says, but I do believe it's going to be a 3-1 Condos Janissaries win, just because he is still like the second-ranked team, and he knows exactly how to push buttons and make things work that really shouldn't, statistically wise.
Yeah, Jeff agrees with you guys, although he's got Condos for a 4-1. I wish I could say I'm gonna win, but JP just has the experience on me. That's just flat out. But I'm kind of hoping it'll be a close game like Lee calls. I'm okay with a 3-2 loss.
Game number 3, we have Riston's Rogues, 6 wins, 0 losses, 2 ties. They're up against Cat's Cavalry, 4 wins, 2 losses, 2 ties. And now that I'm looking at it, Riston's Rogues, I believe, is the only undefeated team.
Nope.
Nobody's actually beaten them. You might have been able to fight your way to a tie, but you've never actually been able to whoop them. I think it's been based off of absolutely stellar mech choices, modding choices, and really at that point, once you've got a phenomenal lance with starting good mechs and well modified, the skills you purchase after that are just icing on the cake. Cat's Cavalry, you got a great lance. I do not like your longbow. Sorry, it's just getting worse as the season goes on for me. That in itself, because it's your assault mech, is going to cost you the game. I think it is going to be a 4-2, but I'm pretty sure your longbow is one of the first mechs to go down.
Somebody's going to get ridden pretty hard and put away in the stables, but it's not going to be the Rogues. Sorry, Cavalry, you're going down with a 4-1 in this game. Just don't think Cat can pull it out on this one.
Jeff's got the same opinion. He's got Reston's winning 4-1. Oh, my turn. Yeah, I can't vote for Cat. He's got the same longbow and the same Raksasha as I do, but mine are superior. I think Jeff's got it. Reston's. But I think it's actually going to be closer. I think it'll be 4-3.
Game number 4, we have the Ansgar's Outlaws. 5 wins, 2 losses, 1 tie, up against Fox Knights. 3 wins, 1 of which is a bye, and 5 losses, 0 ties. Well, this is a pretty lopsided game. You have a team like the Ansgar's Outlaws who have shown some real strength in play this season. Fox Knights, you're struggling, man. I really wish to say that you're going to do better. I think you can. I think this is going to be a very tight, very solid game. But in the end, Ansgar's Outlaws are going to win it, and they're going to win it, I'm going to say 4-2 again.
So every time I bet that Ansgar's Outlaws' outlaw luck is going to run out, he manages to pull out another game. I think it's coming sooner or later. I'll laugh if his luck runs out on playoffs and holds until then. However, I do believe this is going to be an Ansgar's Outlaws 3-2 victory.
The worst part about this is that we need him to lose. Otherwise, you and I might not be able to make A.
I'm not going to make A anyway. I don't know what you guys are complaining about.
B is still possible, Laura.
Well, Jeff thinks Ansgar's is going to win 4-2. I haven't paid attention enough to these two teams. But just for the fun of it, I'm going against the grain. Fox Knights, 3-2.
Watch, she's going to pull 100% this week.
That C3I King Crab is nothing to sneeze at either. So it's not even unlikely that her call is accurate.
Inaccurate, you mean?
Nah, she's going to be bang on.
She could be. It's completely possible. Game number 5, we have the Neon Beatons. 6 wins, 2 losses, 0 ties versus the Red Suns Irregulars. 4 wins, 3 losses, 1 tie. I have to say, Aaron and Gary have been 2 neck and neck teams for the 2 seasons so far. I think it was Gary who Aaron actually pushed out of the A side to end up in A last year. And then I think they ended up fighting in the first season when Aaron won the B side. I think your Clan Tech is going to probably carry the day, Aaron. I think your Masakari, as much as I'd like to see it get dropped like a hot potato, is just well-tuned. The Red Suns Regulars are throwing out a very similar lance, so it's going to be good. But I think you're going to win it, Aaron, and I think it's going to be a 3-2.
Well, it is Clan Tech on Clan Tech. It is Warhawk on Dire Wolf Widowmaker with the autocannon 20 swapped out for a Gauss rifle. At range, the Red Suns Irregulars got him beat. It's just a matter that Warhawk is pretty defensive, especially with camouflage. If Gary pulls a map that does not have trees that Aaron can hide in, this will be a Red Suns Irregulars win. However, since the Beatons fly the Falcon colors, I want this to be a 4-3 Beaton victory.
Can I change my vote now that you mentioned that he's Jade Falcon?
What, you don't want to copy Jeff? He's got Beaton's winning for 3-2.
I said what I said. I'll stand by it.
I don't know. Those stats don't quite speak for themselves. I'm pretty sure Gary's tie could have been a win. Nah, I'll vote for Aaron. 4-2.
Unanimous vote for the Neon Beatons. Red Suns Irregulars win.
You just said Laura was going to get all of her predictions correct this week.
No, I said watch and see it'll happen. I'm just saying we've jinxed it by giving the Neon Beatons a four-person vote.
You know, for me to have 100% prediction, I lose.
I won. I was accurate, but I lost my game.
Game number 6, we have Kells Keshik. 5 wins, 2 losses, 1 tie. They're up against the Teddy Bear Parade. 7 wins, 1 loss, 0 ties. Our current leader, I've been saying this all season, I like Jeff Painter's lance. It is strong, it is solid. That Fafnir is a lot of fun with its 4 plasma rifles. And it's a kind of a close range lance. So the Teddy Bear's Cocaine Bear is going to have its work cut out for it, right? The Fafnir's got a ton of armor, so it's not like it's going down easy. And 4 plasma rifles can hammer you pretty hard. That being said, Teddy Bear Parade has a goal. I think they're trying to hold on to first place so that they have a little bit of an easier run in the playoffs. Jeff, I love you. I got to give you the Kells Keshik. I'm going to say you're going to win just because I like your lance. You took a quad, and only one other person's taken a quad this season. I'm going to say it is going to be super tight. It's going to be 4-3, and I bet you the 4th mech is limping if it gets off the board.
Man, you give Teddy Bear Parade way too much credit. However, they are the sleeper stable of the year. Last year it was Kells Keshik where they came in and you were like, who's these guys? And then they ended up in A-side. Teddy Bear you hadn't really heard of, and now they're in first place. But Darren doesn't really think that far ahead. He's just out to play some games, have some fun. Grumpy Bear going to be grumpy and get 2 kills this game. I am going with the Teddy Bear Parade with a 4-3 victory on this one. And it's probably going to be the Warhammer picking up the other 2 kills.
Jeff votes for himself. So he thinks he's going to win 4-2.
Well, we'd call him for throwing the match if he called it the other way.
Yeah.
He could go for the fastest game, right? He could just massacre the Teddy Bears. He's got that.
He already holds that.
Well,
title.
no, only in our particular version. Bruce apparently has done it in 4 turns, because like 3 head caps in a single turn. But yeah, one we know for certain that we've witnessed is the Kels Keshik getting that 5-round battle massacre. Of course, it was a friend he brought in. I'm almost thinking there might have been a...
It was only the Outlaws, so
Yeah,
it's nothing to
it could have been
lose.
some chips got passed back and forth. I'm not sure.
Well, I've never had the opportunity to actually play against Jeff, but I was the first one to take down Cocaine Bear. But I think Darren's gonna take this. I got Teddy Bears. I don't think they're gonna get a full 4 kill though. I think it's gonna be like 3-2.
Other than the statistical improbability of it, this is one that I could actually see being a 4-4 tie.
Yeah, they're two really solid lances, and they've got a lot of firepower, so it could be.
It's very, very possible that it comes down to the last turn, 2 mechs standing, and they kill each other.
Game number 7, we have the Al Shane Regulars. 4 wins, one of which being a bye, 3 losses, and a tie. They're up against the Pit Vipers, 3 wins, 4 losses, 1 tie. This is one of our tight teams where both teams are actually really close in the standings. And I think the Pit Vipers are a little bit snake bit. But that doesn't mean they can't come back. You know, I don't think I've been on the Pit Vipers side this season. I got to change that. I'm going to say the Pit Vipers are going to win this. I think they're going to take the Al Shane Regulars by surprise, and they're going to win 3-2. And I'm not reading Jeff's answers and matching them. I'm actually purposely not looking at them. And then I look at him and I guessed what he was going to say.
This is another one of those times that I hate following you, because I think it's going to be a Pit Viper 3-2 victory, just because it's going to be a little bit more of a dance and prance match where the Al Shane Regulars try to get some positioning, and either they will pop the Fafnir and take a win, or the Fafnir going to improve Heavy Gauze Rifle some things down. So I'm going to go with the Vipers on this, but I would not be surprised if the Al Shane Regulars pick up the win instead.
Oh yeah, they're tight teams. Like, this is two of the more regular, like, tightest teams. Same thing as the game before. Like, Game 6 might be the game of the week. Game 7 would probably just as easily be game of the week. I think that's the ones people should be watching.
I'm going to vote against you guys again. I think I'm going to go with Al Shane Regulars. Just, yeah, 3-2, Al Shane.
That's all you got to say?
What? I don't know either of these teams this year. I don't have the luxury of being able to watch other people's games.
Oh yeah, because we have time to do that. Game number 8, we have the Wendigos. 4 wins, 3 losses, 1 tie. Up against, and I have been proven wrong with something I said earlier, the League of Bot. With 6 wins, 0 losses, 2 ties. We have 2 teams in leagues that actually have not been beaten yet. In that statement, we have a 3rd place team up against someone in the upper middle pack. I'm right on the heels of the Wendigos as well, so I'm going to actually say League of Bot is going to hold on to this top 5 spot. I don't think they're losing. I think they're going to hold on to this, and I think they are going to pull a 4-2. Yeah, 4-2. 4-2. The League of Robots are tough. That's a lot of pulse lasers and a really ugly glass spider.
You just said that. It's got a lot of large pulse lasers.
And a targeting computer. It's a really ugly mech.
I love Timmy. I love the Wendigos. Last season was just awesome. Jay is a guy that he walks in and I smile because I see somebody that no matter how the game goes is going to be enjoyable to listen to watch, to take time to go and look at. I think the League of Robots is going to be a pretty tough match for him. His heavy PPCs are not going to be able to stack up against all those large pulse lasers. So I think it's going to be a League of Robots 4-3 victory.
Jeff totally disagrees with you guys. He thinks the Wendigos...
He's biased.
Yeah, I know.
That's because Jeff and Jay are brothers from a different mothers.
And I've seen him vote against them, but he's going with the Wendigos this time, 3-2.
Wasn't he playing against him the time he voted against him?
I don't know. No, I haven't faced Jay. Actually, I think I haven't faced Jay at all. But Jared's was probably one of the most fun games I've had. I'll have to vote for League of Robots. I don't want to be a copycat, but you guys both have 4-2 and 4-3 in there.
Okay, there's only so many possible combinations.
So vote 5 and 1. He kills one of his own mech.
Not beyond a realm of possibility, but we kind of don't count kills against ourselves for ourselves.
Teddy Bears did it this round.
No, I think Jared's going to take it 4-2.
Game number 9, we have the first Merrick's Militia. 2 wins, one of which was a bye. 5 losses, 1 tie. They're up against the NAS CIT, who have come off of a win and a tie. Unfortunately, they've also had 6 losses, so they're down near the bottom of the pile. Todd had a lot of fun against Heather. He said it's probably one of the best games he's played and most fun he's played in a long time, which is great that he's having fun. Merrick's Militia, they're struggling, but they're having fun as well. They're showing up, they're playing their games, they're having a good time. That is, in the end, the most important part. As far as the teams are concerned, I think the first Merrick's Militia has a little bit better luck. Todd, please don't call locations when these rolling 4 locations, because you're going to get shot in the face again. So I'm going to say Merrick's Militia are going to win this one, and it's going to be a 4-2. I think Todd's going to start picking up more kills, but I don't think he's going to be able to pull out any wins over the last couple of games.
Okay, so don't hold this against me, but on paper, I think the NACE CIT has a slightly better lance, but I'm going to vote purple on this one. We are going Merrick Militia all the way with a 4-2 victory.
He's got that absolutely devastating Marauder, doesn't he, with the crystal alignment?
He's got the ERPPC awesome. He's got the Marauder with the crystal alignment, so all the clan ranges on the lasers. He's got the Trebuchet that he now knows is tweaked out the way he wants it, I believe.
Yeah, it's starting to rack up some kills. Yeah, see, I'm thinking the Merrick's Militia's got a decent lance. He really just needs to win the next 2 games, and that'll put him up into the C or B playoffs.
The first season can be rough, but this is one of those teams that I've been waiting to come out of the gates with the running.
I've been waiting to see this Trebuchet do something, because I like Trebuchets. They've always been one of my favorite medium mechs. It's interesting when somebody plays it, the mechs that don't really make a lot of sense that you think, right? Like the Assassin earlier on in the season, I was like, yeah, I'm not really sure where that one's going to place. Same thing with the Trebuchet, especially with only 1 ton of ammo per launcher. Now that it's been tweaked, I think it's going to be a lot more effective.
Jeff's prediction, he's got first Merrick winning, but he doesn't have it as high a ranking as you guys do. He's got them winning 2-1.
He's only looking half as high up as we are.
This is a tough one for me. I've only played one of the 2 teams, and I have no clue except what's on paper for stats in front of me, but I think I'm going to go with NACE CIT. He's going to get another win. But I think it's going to be low ranking like Jeff Scott. I think it's going to be 3-2.
Game number 10, we have the Dead Man's Hand. Haven't lost a game in the past 5. 5 wins, 3 losses, 0 ties. They're up against the Radiant Ravens Raiders. 3 wins, 4 losses, 1 tie. Go ahead, Brett. Take it away.
This is a game that I'm betting on Lee. I think Brandon will be a tough match for you. I think it's going to be, to quote you, a really close 4-2 victory.
If you could see the hand signal or hand gesture I'm doing right now.
I don't know. All I can see is the single finger.
All right, so this is my opinion of the game. It's going to be great. I have played Brandon last season where we played to a tie. Matter of fact, one of the many ties I had last year, and he pulled a tie out of defeat. I was up 3-1, and he came back and tied it up 3-3. Him and Alex really surprised me last season with how well they played. That being said, haha, I stole your line, Brett. I am going to win this one, and I'm not going to let him pull it out at the last second either. It's going to be a 4-2.
Well, Jeff seems to agree with both of you, although he's got a closer game at Dead Man's Hands, winning 4-3. And this is one game that I can't be contrary to you guys. I think Lee's going to win it, and I think it'll actually be a 4-3 as well.
Lee, put it on the calendar. Everybody voted for you. Put it on the calendar.
Yes. Now, how many kills is my Jagermech going to get, Brett?
One itself.
I have to say, actually, the 4-3 is very close to probably what it will be, because Brandon's a good player. Like, he's got a lot of tactics, and he's pretty fearless. He knows some good moves. Game number 11, we have the first Dracons. 5 wins, 2 losses, and a tie. Up against the Tin Man's Tin Cans, who are coming off a fantastic showing recently in this past week, with 3 wins, one of which was a bye win, 4 losses, 1 tie.
I'm going to crush the Tin Cans. They won't know what hit them. I love Justin. He is one of my favorite people in the league. I'm going to have a good time at the table with him, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be enjoyable. Something off the wall is going to happen, and I'm hoping that his Battlemaster does something epic, but that my Shadowhawk doesn't die, picks up a couple of kills to jump ahead of you while you start falling. I think it's going to be a 4, I want to say 4-2, but that sounds like a cop-out because that's almost always what I call. I think it's going to be a 4-1 if I try to play this a little cagier than normal.
Well, as much as I'm not happy about how I ended up down in the B side, I gotta say, I have absolutely loved playing against the players that I've been playing. Everybody has been so much fun to play against. Justin actually wasn't part of the last 5 games for me. I think he was actually game number 5 for me. So I like his lance. The Phoenix Hawk 3PL is a terror show. His Guillotine and Thunderbolt work really well together. They're a good duo and are really hard to ignore. All of his mechs jump. And his Assault Battlemaster, that Rack 5, is working really well. He's now kind of fixed the ammunition explosion problem, at least making it a little bit harder for him to be knocked out cold. I think he's going to take it to you, Brett. I think the Tin Man are going to win this, but they're going to sneak out a 3-2. I think they're just going to barely sneak it out from you, but I think he's going to end up pulling it out.
I would not be surprised if I lose the Axeman and the Black Knight in this game.
I think your Shadowhawk's in trouble. That if he takes that Phoenix Hawk against it, the Phoenix Hawk wins, purely on mobility and accuracy.
I think he's going to go after the Viking with the Phoenix Hawk, because the Viking has no way to defend itself, unlike the last one he fought.
That's
Mine
true.
does not have the half-range minimum penalty on the LRMs.
That's true, and you know what? That could be a winning move if he's able to take out your Viking early, because your Viking's been paying some dividends.
Yeah, now that I don't hit with just one launcher every turn.
Yeah, I think the Tin Cans are going to pull out a squeaker 3-2.
I would not be upset by that. Justin deserves more victories.
Well, Jeff disagrees with you there. He's got Brett winning 4-2.
That's the standard Brett win. 4-2.
It's because I'm too aggressive. I usually lose half my stuff.
Just vote against him. It's just Brett.
When have you ever agreed with me?
Never.
It had to have been at least once.
No. I have Tin Man, Tin Cans, and I think it's actually going to be 4-2.
Oh, you think he's going to roll Brett up?
Hey, someone's got to pull the horseshoe out.
I haven't killed any of my own mechs yet this season.
That's true, but you have flopped around really bad this year.
Yeah, like my kryptonite this year seems to be just piloting checks, just gravity falling all the time. Whereas last year it was gravity, but it also triggered ammo explosions killing mechs. That's it. Next year I'm buying 4 ways of piloting.
Or nothing that explodes.
Why not both?
True. Game number 12, we have the Blitzkrieg Jezebels. 3 wins, 2 of which are bye wins. 4 losses, 1 tie, up against the Hogan's Heroes. They are carrying 2 bye wins and 6 losses. Hogan's Heroes, Phil, you've had a tough season. I'm sorry to see the way it's been happening. I don't think it's going to get better. I think Heather's Heavy Gauze Rifle and Imperial Gauze Rifle is going to carry the day, and I know I jumped all over you, Brett. But I really do think so. I think the Blitzkrieg Jezebels are going to take it, and they're going to take it 4-2, mainly because she's going to get some awfully lucky heavy gauze rifle shots.
I can't hold it against you being excited to talk about the Blitzkrieg Jezebels.
I think they're just need a little bit of luck. I just think things need to fall their direction, a couple of good dice rolls, and I think she's going to be able to get into the C or even potentially sneak into the B side finals or playoffs anyway.
See, and this one I'm going to bet on the underdog. Blitzkrieg Jezebels has more experience. Blitzkrieg Jezebels has a really tight lance because she's been in league for a couple of years, and she's been around those of us that have been in even when she wasn't. However, I'm going Hogan's Heroes on this in a 2-1 victory, and they're just going to pull out the miracle win here.
Jeff actually thinks Heather's gonna take it. He's got a close game, 2-1. I can't vote against my fellow Battlebabes, so I'm gonna go with the Jezebels, but I think it's 4-1.
Game number 13. The Vengeful Ones. 1 win, 7 losses, 0 ties. Finally reached his partway through goal of getting to the basement. He's up against the half cut. 3 wins, 4 losses, 1 tie.
Oh, this is a tough one. Pulse lasers versus speed and Paul ingenuity. I'm going to call this a 2-2 tie at the end.
I don't even know how to start this.
Well, once upon a time, there was a little boy and another little boy.
Yeah, when two people really, really like each other.
They sit together at a table.
And roll some dice. Both John and Paul are original League veterans. They both understand how League works, and they both are quite capable of pulling some of the weirdest, unexpected gameplay you've ever seen. John has had probably the worst luck of any player in League history. Paul just recently took his first loss after a little bit of a run against his son. I think Paul's going to take this one because I don't think John's luck is going to change. I think Paul's going to take it, and once the pain begins, it's going to be over pretty quickly. I think it's going to be a 4-1 victory for the half cut.
Jeff has the same prediction, half cut 4-1. This one's tough, because I know both of them have issues with their dice. No matter which bag they pull, it sometimes just doesn't work out.
Paul doesn't have issues with his dice. Paul has issues with his Paul tactics.
His dice don't help him that much either. At least they didn't when I played him. But I'm gonna have to go with Paul half cut. I don't think it's gonna be a total 4-kill. 3-1.
Game number 14. The Ghosts of Gunsburg. 3 wins, 5 losses, 0 ties. They're up against the Wolfpack with 3 wins, one of them being a bye, 5 losses, 0 ties. These two teams are scrambling. They are trying to get into the B-side playoffs to get their name on the trophy, though both of them would probably be extremely big contenders in the C-side playoffs to take it.
I think Alex is going to be persistent, and in this case, he's got a couple of seasons of experience underneath his belt. He's going to find some way to weasel out a win. The Wolfpack is going to circle and just pull something apart. I think it's going to be probably a 3-1 Wolfpack victory.
I don't want to call against either of these guys. I don't. I have not been calling a lot of ties. I'm going to call a tie here. I think it's going to be 3-3.
Kate, are you sure you're not looking at Jeff's answers?
I'm not. Oh, Jesus Christ, it is. No, and the reason why is both Alex and James have shown that they can play the game. Alex is a B-side champion. Like, it's not like he can't play solid. He fought me to a tie last season and did it with some actual good skill. It wasn't just lucky dice. So yeah, 3-3 tie.
Well, I'm not calling a tie. I think Alex is going to take it, and
Parental bias.
We
really,
both can't be biased.
for the record, I think the Wolfpack's going to win. But if these two guys are going to keep bugging me about parental bias, I'll vote for James.
No.
Well, we know that Wolfpack isn't going to hear your vote, so vote how you want.
I love how dedicated he is to listening to what's going on.
No, I think Alex is going to win. I think it's going to be 4-2.
Game number 15. Well, that one's actually not going to end up getting played because the Devil's Brigade had to drop. They're playing up against the Fenris Frostfangs, who get their bye win, which helps them stay up there in the middle to D, top of D. They might stand a chance of making C still. Game number 16. We have the Remnants, 2 wins, 5 losses, 1 tie. They are up against the Paxton's Pathfinders, 2 wins, 6 losses, 0 ties.
Chris is going to win this game. Unfortunately, Chris is also going to lose this game. So it's a tough call, but I'm going to vote Chris on a 3-2 victory.
Steal one of your lines, 2 Chris's enter, 1 Chris leaves. There, it had to be said.
Except 2 Chris's are going to enter and 2 Chris's are going to leave because they're not going to all lose all their max.
Actually, they could. The Remnants pulled a 4-kill victory last game. If he can get his C3I working the way it's potential, take a look. One of our top teams is using C3I. Chris has his lance put together the way he likes it. The other Chris has a good lance, but he's not the fastest player, slows the games down, but he has a lot of fun and has picked up so much since Season 1. He's gotten to be a much better player. And I promised Chris of the Remnants I wouldn't vote for him, but I got to. It's got to be the Remnants. And I think, oh dang it, now I am reading Jeff's guess, so I can't do that. I'm going to say, just to make it different, I'm going to say it's going to be a 3-1.
You guys are funny. Yeah, Jeff's got the Remnants winning 4-2. This is tough. This one is actually tough.
There's been a few of them. Both A side and B side have some great matchups this week.
Now, I think I'm going to go with Paxton Pathfinders. I think it's only going to be... I think it's going to be 3-2.
In summary and closing, as Brett always writes in the script, I'd like to say thank you, everybody, for listening to us once again. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, tell your friends, enemies, frenemies, and everybody else you can about our podcast, especially if they're into Battletech. We may not be the most polished, but we definitely are energetic and enjoy our show.
I'd like to take a special moment and thank Laura, Battlebabe number 2, for joining us today and filling in. So it's not just the Brett and Lee show, because that might be a little bland for everybody.
And the Brett and Lee show would be perfectly fine because you are a peanut gallery all amongst yourselves.
I do want to apologize for the late release of this episode. We are moving on to week number 10 coming up, so hopefully we'll have those games for everybody to enjoy. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you in a week or so. Bye-bye.